everyone! So a lot of you have been asking me what kind of base makeup I've been wearing recently. So the main two products that I use for this kind of glowy look is this Pony Effect Radiance Glow Hydrating Starter and this Pony Effect Strobing Luminizer. So the reason why I say these are the main contenders is that a lot of the time I like to mix the foundations and still use these two products. So what foundation that you have, it doesn't really matter, but I prefer to use a mattifying foundation when I do use these products, just because I do have normal to oily skin and more oily during the summertime especially. Two foundations that I've been kind of switching between for this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup and the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This routine does hold up pretty well for me during the summer. I actually did wear this out for like 8 hours or so. I wore it out with this, and I think if I wore it with this, it would hold up a lot better, just because this is a way more mattifying foundation than this is. So today I'm just going to show you with this foundation, but just letting you know that this is another alternative that I use as well. Before I put on the foundation, I'm going to start off with this Radiance Glow Hydrating Starter. So I zoomed you in because I got this from Mimibox, these two products, and the Radiance Glow Hydrating Starter, they say you can use as a primer before foundation or wear alone for a natural glow, but I don't really think that you should use this alone because it doesn't really correct anything. It just makes you glowy. So personally, I wouldn't wear it alone, but I just want you to really see what it looks like when you do just put it on. One pump should be good enough for the whole face. So I'm just gonna put this on one side so you can see what kind of difference it would make. So I'm gonna put it on just with my fingers. I have it on this side of my face, and as you can see, my skin pretty much looks the same, except it does look a little bit glowier than the other side. But in terms of kind of pore control, oil control, tone correction, anything like that, it's not really going to help you in those kind of areas. So I don't really feel like I would wear this alone, but I'm also the type of person who, if I am wearing makeup, I prefer to wear a full face rather than just put on one product. And as far as I can see, this doesn't have SPF either, so I don't know why I would wear this on its own. Just me personally, I wouldn't wear this alone, but it does give like a really beautiful glow underneath foundation. This is the overall glow that it's giving my skin, so you can take a look for yourself. As you can see, you can still see all of my acne scars and my current active acne right here and everything. But I do look really glowy, so I guess that's the whole point of this. I'm just gonna put the foundation on right on top of it, not really mixing anything together. I just kind of like to kind of layer it just like this. So this is with the foundation on. And the foundation does say that it is matte and poreless, and sometimes I feel like it does help my pores, sometimes I feel like it doesn't, but you can definitely see right now that it did help my pores a lot more than the hydrating starter did. So I'm just going to put on concealer now. I'm just using the Urban Decay Naked Skin in Fair Neutral, but it doesn't matter what concealer that you use, really. I have my primer, my foundation, and my concealer on, and now I'm going to go for this Pony Effect Strobing Luminizer. And just to show you what this kind of looks like, I'm just gonna pump out a little bit of this. And you can see it's pretty thick. Like it's not running down on my hand or anything. Just gonna blend it out. It has kind of a pink sheen to it. I don't know if you can tell. Blend it out a little bit more, but not all the way. So this is a pretty good like depiction of what it looks like, but obviously this is a lot of product for the back of my hand. So just to show you the difference, this is on the back of my hand and this hand has nothing. So you can definitely see that there is a really nice glow. It looks more dewy than anything when I look at it right now. It doesn't really look glittery or anything like that, and usually I don't like these kind of things because sometimes when you put them on top of your foundation, it can kind of create this weird little effect where it goes only inside of your pores and kind of erases the makeup around, but I find like this doesn't really do that. So I'm gonna apply this just like a normal highlighter. I just like to put it on the center of my face mostly, and I'm actually gonna try to use this with a little sponge. I've never tried this before, so who knows how this will turn out. It looks nice. Also, this isn't like a very strong highlighter. If you're looking for a super flashy, out of this world highlight, then this probably isn't for you. But lately I've been going for a pretty natural look, so I like this. So I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely doesn't sink into my pores, which I find that a lot of liquid highlighters do. So that's probably my favorite part about this liquid highlighter. And just saying, I really do like using this with the sponge. That was very nice. The last thing that I like to do to finish this off, I like to use a cushion puff with a loose powder. This has been my favorite loose powder at the moment, and I like to use a cushion puff with it. It's kind of the same thing as a wet beauty blender, kind of, except, you know, sometimes I'm a little bit too lazy to go and wet and clean my beauty blender, so this is sometimes an easier, more convenient option for me. So what I like to do is kind of use the cushion puff to pick up a little bit of the powder. As you can see, this is too much, so I kind of like to wipe it off on the back of my hand, and I like it a little bit like this, so it's not too much but it's still there. And I kind of just set on the places that I need to set rather than my whole face and using too much powder, because I still want to look glowy, but I just don't want my foundation to move throughout the day because it is really hot right now, at least in New York. So I'm just gonna set really lightly. I don't know if you can tell, but I have set my face, but all of the glow is not gone. I'm still pretty glowy. This is basically what I do to get that glowy look that all of you have been seeing recently. Sometimes I will set it, sometimes I won't set it, just depending on if I'm going out for a long period of time or not. Usually when I'm just filming, I won't set it, so I might look extra glowy. Or if it's light outside, then usually it helps to make me look more glowy. But this is what it looks like, just so you can see the full glow. So I finished putting on the rest of my makeup. I did powder my face, so it's a little bit more on the matte side than usual, but usually it looks a little bit more glowy as the time passes and my face, you know, settles with the oils and it all mixes together. I actually like to go out of the house looking pretty matte, because at the end of the day when I come home, I'll look like really glowy and nice. It's one of those things where since I have normal to oily skin, my skin will kind of mix with the powder, foundation, and everything that I've put on, and then slowly kind of break it down but also not completely slide off my face. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but that's just something that happens to me personally. I like to look super matte when I leave the house, especially if I need it to stay on all day. And then usually at the end of the day, mid to the end of the day, I'll start looking really glowy, and maybe at the end of the day I'll need to blot. These two products together with a mattifying foundation I find work really well for me during these hot summer days. Usually, since my lighting is so strong, my base makeup might look a little bit more glowy than it actually does in real life, so just take that into account before actually going and grabbing these products. These two products were sent to me by Mimibox, but I don't know, I'm not like getting paid to advertise these or anything, and these are just something that I've personally wanted to try out just because it's pony effect, you know, it's by pony, so it was really interesting to try these out. I kind of wish that the primer, the hydrating starter, would have a little bit more properties just rather than hydrating and making your skin glowy. I wish that it had some like something to kind of fix the tone of my skin maybe or something, but if you have dry skin, I think this is really nice because it is super hydrating. So I think if you do have dry skin, you would like this better over if you have oily skin. If you do have dry skin, then you might not have to use the mattifying foundation or the powder that I use, but I do have normal to oily skin, so this is the kind of combination of products that I found that I like. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!